Welcome to the replay. Again, fourth time's lucky, right? It's been quite a morning trying to get this Facebook Live up and running. So thank you to anybody who's here listening, anybody who's coming in on the replay. Had a little issue. Here's a tip for everybody. If you're making Facebook Live videos after we talk about why you need to make your own content, if you decide you need to make Facebook videos, tell the people in your kitchen not to use the microwave while you're trying to do it, because apparently microwaves mess up your Wi-Fi. So every time somebody put something in the microwave downstairs, I got kicked off my Wi-Fi. Who knew? Anyway, all right, I think the microwave is done. I've got stuff I want to talk to you about. So because we had some issues getting going this morning and we're running a little bit late, do me a favor. Share this link out so that other people can come in and join us. I'm going to take a second here to share it to my Facebook page so that everybody who is trying to figure out where the heck I went to, because the scheduled one didn't work, can come in here and join. So just give me a second to hit paste here, and let's see if that works. No, that's not going to work either. All right. Go ahead and click share. Let people know that you're watching this Facebook Live, all about why you need to create your own unique content. So thanks for joining me. This is the first of 4 Facebook Live sessions that I'm going to do, and I'm going to spend a lot of time this week figuring out why my scheduled one wouldn't work. So that'll be the first thing. It'll go off on time next week. I'm excited to get back into live streaming. I was live streaming with Tina and Kara and some others on a regular basis about a year ago, and we stopped, and I really miss it. And going to Social Media Marketing World in March really reminded me how much I miss doing these scheduled live streams. So I'm hoping this is going to get me back into the habit, but also I just want to inspire you to start playing with video, start doing some new things, and start doing some live streaming, because live streaming is going to be huge, especially, did you hear the announcement about Facebook TV coming? So, hey, maybe you're the next Facebook TV star. Who knows? So this is the first of 4 sessions that I'm going to be doing, all about building your own content, because it's really important that you make your own content, not just share everybody else's stuff. Before we get started, if you didn't already, give this a share so you can let your friends know that you're watching this. And if they don't come in right now, that's okay. They can catch it on the replay later when they have time to listen for 15 or 20 minutes. One other thing, I want to remind you that I have a Facebook group called Social Media for Twerps. So if you just, in the search, type in Social Media for Twerps, you'll find the group. Ask to join, and I would love for you to join us in that group. It's not super active right now, so you won't get overwhelmed, but it's a great place to come if you have questions about social media for business. You can get an answer from me, and there's a couple of other social media experts who are members there, but you can also get ideas and opinions from the other members. So it's a great place to come and a really safe environment to just ask questions, because a lot of the people who are in there are starting from scratch and they're just getting started in social media. And if you ask the question, they're probably going to ask the question too. So hey to Adam and Kate who are watching live. Thank you so much for putting up with all of my changes here as I got going this morning. And thanks to Kate for sharing it out. Let's get started. Let's talk about content. So the first thing, do you even know what content is? We use this word content all the time. Marketers use it, people use it, you hear it on the news, you hear it on all the websites. And I wondered if people even really understand what content is. So if that's you, go ahead and give me a few likes there. Let me know that you're not even sure what content really means. Content is really anything that you put out there in social media. So anything that you use to advertise your business. It could be a blog. it could be a picture, it could be a live stream. Content is anything that you are putting together and putting out there. And it could be somebody else's content that you're putting out there too. It doesn't have to be just yours. But content is kind of it's the pictures, it's the words, it's the videos, and it can take many different forms. Okay, so content is what you're putting out there. And it's really that simple. People often ask me, well, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And I think a lot of people tend to overthink what different terms mean. Content, it's a blog, it's a picture, it's a post. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, but it can be other things. So there's different types of content that I like to tell people about. You could have a simple text update on your social media. So think about Twitter, 140 characters to say, hey, I'm going on Facebook Live. That's content. Maybe not the most valuable content, but it's content. You could do a photo update. You could take a picture of you being at a workshop. That could be your content for the day. It could be a video, or it could be a live stream. Let's hope you have better luck getting started than I did. It could be an ebook. So I've had one ebook, I've got another ebook coming. That is amazing content if you can put together an ebook that is helpful to people. A giveaway can even be content or a contest because you're posting about it. It's something going out on your social media feeds. That can be content. And a conversation. Conversation isn't necessarily something you plan to put out there. But hey, on Twitter, conversations are a really important part of your content plan. So it's important that you're on Twitter having conversations with people, not just broadcasting out your messages. So you see, content can really be just about anything. But I hear from business owners all the time that they just don't know what to post. They understand they can do a picture, they can do a video, they can do a live feed, but they don't know what? What am I going to take a picture of? What am I going to post about? What am I going to write about? They spend ridiculous amounts of time sometimes figuring out what they're going to write. I've heard of people taking an hour to write a 140 character tweet. Many of us can just type that off without even thinking, and sometimes we regret it afterwards. But if you're spending an hour to write a tweet, that's because you don't know what your content is. You're trying to figure it out on the spot. Okay, so content is anything you choose to put out there. If I were talking about a book, content would be the stories inside. But we're talking about social media. So content is what you're going to put on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. It's the post, it's the picture, it's the video, it's the live stream. And yeah, hey, Adam's got a comment here. They have to understand the why first. Yeah, you have to understand why you're putting that content out there. Otherwise, you end up just going on Twitter and saying, hey, I'm having Cheerios for breakfast. And I don't see that kind of content a lot. That's a really bad stereotype about Twitter, I think. But if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a plan, that's what you end up doing. You end up putting out fluff. You put out Cheerios, and that's not what people want to see. Business people don't generally want to see what you're having for breakfast. So let's think about what more can we do to put out better content. All right, so what do you do? If that's your problem, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this live stream because I've got a freebie for you. And it's going to really help you figure out what you can be creating for your own content. So it's super easy to say find a motivational quote every Monday. You can find a motivational quote that's going to fit any industry. If you're fitness, if you're social media, if you're selling coffee, right, Adam? There's all kinds of motivational quotes out there that you can find and use on your social media. But here's the thing. If all you ever do is share content that other people are creating, why do I need to follow you? What's your perspective? If Adam is only ever sharing stuff that is from the coffee company that he represents. Why do I need to follow Adam? Right? I can get all that coffee information from the coffee company's corporate page. If a business coach is only ever sharing coaching ideas and articles and motivation from all of her coaching friends, well, why do I need to follow that business coach? Because I can get that information from those people's feeds. I'd rather follow the source. I'd rather get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So it's really important that you share some of your own content. You can't just regurgitate other people's content. If I want Linda Daly's content, I'm going to go to Linda's page. If I want Tina's content, I'm going to go to Tina's page. So I'm not going to follow Anita to get Tina and Linda and Adam's content. I'm going to follow their stuff. Sharing is really important in social media. Sharing can lead you to somebody new. So I've mentioned Adam. Adam's there. You might go follow Adam now. Adam's got great content. If you want to learn how to use Snapchat, you probably should follow Adam, not me. I can introduce you to Adam, but you're not going to follow me to get Adam's content. You want to follow Adam to get Adam's content. So it's the same for you. Don't just regurgitate other people's stuff. You want to do it because you want to build relationships with those people. You want to be kind. You want to be helpful. You want to help promote them. I get that. But it can't just be their stuff. Sharing is really helpful. Everyone likes it when you share their content. So it's a really good way to build relationships. If you share their content, they may come in looking at your feeds to find content of yours that they can share. And that's how relationships start. And that's how you get new people into your feeds. So I did that one day. There's a particular person on Twitter that likes to share my content, and she shares nearly every blog post that I write, especially ones about a certain topic. And so one day I thought, okay, she has shared every blog post I've written for a long time, for as long as I've known her on Twitter, for about a year. I think it's time that I start looking to her stuff to share some of her stuff. And geez, maybe I get to know her better in the process. So I went to her Twitter feed because that's where she shares my stuff, or that's where I see that she shares my stuff. And I'm looking through her Twitter feed, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and all she ever does is share other people's stuff. I'm sure she's having conversations in there too, but when I was looking for an article to share, I could not find an article that was written by her. I found Social Media Examiner, I found me, I found Mari Smith, I found Tina, I found all kinds of other social media people. I didn't find an article by her. I could not reciprocate. I could not thank her by sharing out her own content. So it's important to share other people's stuff, but you need to find a balance. If you only share their stuff, your tribe is never going to find out what you stand for. They're never going to get your opinion on things. They're never going to really get to know, like, and trust you. And that's really important. This is why it's important for you to share your own unique content. Your fans want to hear your perspective. They want your opinions and your outlook. They want behind the scenes from your business. There is something that has drawn people into your business. So you want to give them that. If you're only sharing content that's written by other people, you're never going to find your tribe. You're going to find other people's tribe. Am I making sense? Does this make sense? Sherry's saying that it's making sense. Adam's giving me the claps there. He said, that sounded bad. Adam's clapping. He says it's making sense. Is this making sense to you? If you're watching right now and this is making sense, give me a few likes there so I know that this is hitting home for you. All right. I first learned this lesson about 4 or 5 years ago when I was just fairly new to business. I had a pretty good name around the city already, and I felt really good about my position here in the city, but looking around the industry, I was really intimidated by the Mari Smiths and the Amy Porterfields and the Lisa Larders who were out there who had already built up a big name. You know that saying, don't compare the beginning of your story to somebody else's middle? Well, I was doing that. I was comparing myself to these people who had been in the business for 3, 4, 5 years already. And yeah, I know, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So sometimes, ladies, sometimes I say things that sound a little off. Thanks for the comments. At least you're listening, hey? So I was comparing the startup of my business to the middle of other people's business. And I was saying, geez, these people already have these big followings. These people already have all these ebooks and all these blogs. And wow, I can't compete with that. I have to find something different. I can't regurgitate what they're doing. I can't rewrite what they're doing. And, I was kind of stuck. What do I do? How do I do this myself? And it was really limiting. If I couldn't write about something that Mari had written about, or that Lisa Larder had written about, or Amy Porterfield, because they were writing all the time. So I was really limited. And one day, somebody who was following me and valued my opinion wrote to me by email and said, "Hey, I was just on your website and I noticed I couldn't find your ebook anywhere. Can you give me a link to your ebook?" And I'm like, huh. Hmm. I had to write back and say, "I don't have an ebook. What are you looking for?" And he wrote back and said he was looking for something on Facebook management. I said, "Well, okay, well, here's, 5 links to Facebook management tutorials and ebooks, and there's a link, Facebook management for dummies." And so I wrote back and gave him all this stuff, and he said to me, yeah, but I want it from you. I want your perspective. You're the person that I follow for social media advice. You're the person I've built a relationship with. You're the person I know. I want your opinion and I want to read this in your words. I don't want their words. So it's great that that's out there, but I really want to hear it from you. Wow, that was a light bulb moment for me if I ever had one in this business. All of that stuff is already out there, but they want it from me. They want my voice. They want my perspective. So about 6 months later, I think, I put out my first ebook, um, Facebook Page Management for Twerps. Some of you may have downloaded it about 4 or 5 years ago on Kindle. Put it out on Kindle. Hey, it was a #1 bestseller on Kindle in that category. But I'm not going to tell you about that story because that one's kind of funny. Someday over a drink, I'll tell you about that. So I put out the ebook and I was really proud of myself. I put out this book. It didn't seem to have any kind of competition really on Kindle. People weren't writing about this. Then I discovered why. It's because Facebook changes too fast and I couldn't keep up the book with all of the changes. So it was a great experiment in building content, and it inspired me to keep doing my own take on content and not worrying about what other people have written or might be writing. So even though I haven't kept that up now, I haven't kept that one book up, now I've got a new ebook that'll be coming out that'll be hopefully a little easier to keep up with. So that book was great for a long time. It helped a lot of people understand the bells and whistles of Facebook page management. But I eventually had to take it down because I just couldn't keep up with all of the changes to Facebook. But I've learned my lesson. Over 300 people downloaded that ebook. And now I understood that people wanted to hear from me. They wanted to hear my opinion, my perspective, my methodology, my thoughts on how to do things on social media. So I learned a really good lesson from that. And I hope that you'll take that lesson away today as well, that you have to be putting stuff out there from your perspective to keep your tribe interested. Okay, so now I don't really care if somebody has already written about this. I don't care if Mari Smith is doing a video. I will probably not even watch that video, and I'll just go do my own thing about that topic. So Facebook Messenger rooms is a great one. We only have those messenger rooms in Canada and Australia. So, Mari Smith can't write about Facebook Messenger rooms because even though she's Canadian, she lives in the States most of the time, so she doesn't have access. Amy Porterfield in the States, she doesn't have access. So I'm writing as much as I can about Facebook Messenger rooms because right now I'm one of the few social media experts who can do that. So, but I don't care about what they're doing. I don't look to them to say, okay, what are their topics and what can I write and how can I be different? I just write. I just fill my blog and fill my social media with the stuff that I think is going to be valuable to the people who are following me. Okay, so the good news is I've got this freebie that I'm going to give you a link to at the end of the live stream that you can download. And this freebie has over 50 different ideas for how prompts to get you thinking about what kind of content you can build for your business that's going to be a little different than other people's. Okay, my most valuable tip. You ready? This is my most valuable tip for creating your own content. Be helpful. Be helpful. Make your content useful. One of the best quotes on content marketing, one of my favorites, is Jay Baer. And he said something that I didn't write it down, but very similar to make your marketing so useful that people would actually pay you for it. And then they can't believe that you're giving it away for free. One of the examples he uses is, oh shoot, I've forgotten the name of it, but it's an app and it's a toilet finder app. If you can imagine being in downtown New York and you don't know where the public toilets are that are clean, well, Charmin, I think it's Charmin, created an app for that. You load up the app and get reviews on public toilets. Well, isn't that the best marketing that Charmin could possibly put out there? Everybody's going to think about Charmin now because they've used this app to find a clean toilet in downtown New York. So that's one example. I make my marketing useful through social media. So I'm providing motivational quotes, trying to get people amped up about doing their own content. I provide tutorials. I provide explanations. I do all kinds of stuff on social media that I hope is going to help people figure out how to manage social media on their own. Because yeah, some people hire me to manage their social media and people hire me to help them figure out their strategy. But I know that there's a ton of people out there who can't afford to hire me and a ton of people out there who like to do it themselves. I like to do it. So why would I think that other people wouldn't like to do it? So my social media, my blog, my website, it's all about being helpful. And that has worked tenfold for me. The time I put in to doing all that stuff, I mean, that's where my business comes from. So you want to be helpful in the books and posts and videos that you create. Be helpful and valuable. So have you ever seen marketing like that? Other than me, have you ever seen marketing that was so useful? You would actually consider. Okay, whew, that one came back. It timed out on me for a second there, and I thought I was going to lose it at 25 minutes, and I was going to be really, really angry. Okay, so yeah, Adam, no one knows your business better than you. Don't waste years trying to figure it out. Look to a mentor or two to help. Yeah, there's lots of people out there that can help you bring out the content that's there in your business. You have the content. I have not yet seen a business where I couldn't eke out their content. There's content there. You just need to see it. And sometimes you just need somebody like me or Adam or a client, a follower, to point out that there's a hole in your content. Why aren't you sharing this with us? Why haven't you written this ebook? So sometimes those hints about what your content could be come from your followers. Okay, so how can you be helpful in your marketing? My biggest tip was to be helpful, but how can you do that? Okay, well, here's my secret weapon. Now, I don't want you to go sharing this out with anybody. This is just for you guys because you're here and I want to help you, but don't be sharing this video with any more people because you don't want them all to have your secret weapon. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and share it again. So my secret weapon is answer your customer questions on social media. It's that simple. I'm not saying that's all you're going to do, but you want to answer customer questions because it helps new customers who are checking you out. If you answer these questions and they can go to your website and see all the answers. People like to do research before they call you. So give them what they're looking for. You know what the questions are. You know that customers are likely to ask these 10 questions before they buy. There's 10 blog posts right there. There's 10 social media posts. There's 10 videos or 10 live streams that you can do. The easiest way to build unique content is to take the questions that people ask you on a regular basis and answer them somewhere. So I do that on my blog. You send me a question that I've never written about before. I'm going to probably end up writing about it on my blog eventually. I keep a list of these things. And when I'm looking for something to write or post on social media, that's what I do. I look at this list of questions or ideas that people have given me. Yeah, I feel like writing about that today. So I saw Sherry asked a question a little while ago there in the comments about how much content is, or how much of your own content, I think it was, how much should be yours and how much should be somebody else's. Let me back up here to the question. How much is too much of your own content? I have tons of blogs that I've written, but how often should I share those? So everybody has a different formula for what's the right amount of content versus hard selling versus sharing versus conversations. I have heard 10 to 1. And I guess that's the philosophy that I most closely espouse is the 10 to 1. So 10 pieces of useful, non-salesy information on your social media before you ask for something. And that's kind of the one I keep in mind. What's the other one? 10, 5, 2 or 9, 7, 2 or something. I forget the numbers exactly. 7 pieces of other people's stuff, 5 pieces of your own, and then 1 hard sales call to do something for you, to buy something. So the idea is it's really about not asking too much of people. I think if you can provide your own unique content, 10 times a day on Twitter, that's great. Right now on Twitter, I probably have about that happening, but I've got 6 years worth of blogs written that can be shared out on an ongoing basis. So most of the content that's going out on my social media right now is all unique content. But I also share other people's stuff when I find it valuable, when I think it's going to be valuable to my followers. So you'll see that I share blog posts that Tina has written because Tina has a different perspective than me that I think is really valuable to my followers. I will share news from Social Media Examiner because sometimes they catch the new things before I do. So it's all about providing value, and that content from those people is very valuable, so I share it, but it's interspersed with my own unique stuff so that people who are following me get to know, like, and trust me. They get to know what my values are. They get to know how I would explain things, how I talk. Because if they ever do actually want to hire me to do something, I want them to know that when they walk in the room, this is who they're going to find. They're going to talk to me. It's going to sound like me. I'm going to make these same facial expressions. I'm going to use my hands this way. I'm going to do this with my head when I'm explaining things. It should feel like they've known me for a long time when they come to hire me. And that's kind of the goal of social media marketing now, is to get to the point where people feel like they already know you and they've already pretty much made up their mind to hire you when they make that phone call or when they send that email or when they meet you at that coffee shop. Your job becomes a whole lot easier because you've been helpful. You've proven your expert status by being helpful. And they already know, like, and trust you, and now they're just double checking that you really are how you appear on social. So I take all those client questions, I write tutorials, I show people how to use things, I do videos, I do pictures, I do screencasts, I do all kinds of different things on my blog. And you can do that too. So think about it for your own business. Is there a tutorial you can write? I mean, Adam with coffee. Can you show us how to make the perfect cup of coffee with your product, Adam? I don't know, because I'd only tried it once. It wasn't my favorite, but maybe I didn't do it right. Is there a way to make it something that I'm more likely to enjoy on a daily basis? I see my old music teacher, Peter McLaughlin, has joined us. You could be doing live videos, little teasers from your new music venue back home. Show us what we're missing out on by not being there. You could show people how to properly thank a band for playing. I don't know. Maybe you can think of something fun. You were always pretty creative. There's all kinds of different behind the scenes content and little things that you can do that your competitors can't necessarily do. And it's all about giving your perspective. So show us how to use your product. Show us a tour of your venue. Show us how your dry cleaning machines work. Have you seen those videos on YouTube? The most satisfying videos in the world, where all it is something just going around and around in a loop. Maybe that's watching the dry cleaning machines, the clothes going around and around in a loop. I don't know why that stuff's so mesmerizing, but hey, I had a client that showed a video of gosh, I can't remember what it was called. It was some kind of sand blaster, water blaster machine in their machine shop, and they showed us how that made their product. People find that stuff really interesting. It's old hat to you. You do it every day. You think, well, this is just what I do. Why would anybody want to see that? But people want to see the behind the scenes. They want to understand what it's all about. Okay, so I've talked a lot about blogging. I mean, most of the content that I'm creating is on blogging, but this doesn't have to be just blogging, obviously. A lot of this stuff you could choose to do in Facebook Lives. You could choose to do it in a post. You could explain something in a post or in a picture or on a video. It can be any type of content. And if you can answer a customer question, FAQ style, on Twitter, why not? You could create a simple graphic. Maybe your tweet is the question and the graphic that you use to accompany the tweet is the answer. There are ways around that 140 character limit if you are a little bit creative and if that's where your audience is. So what else can you share that's unique to you if you're not writing a blog that's answering a question in your own words? How about a video walkthrough or a tour? Live streaming an event, Peter McLaughlin. Show us shoe and purse pairings from your boutique. Show us how to put things together. Show us how to wear the accessories that you're selling. How about you crowdsource the name of a product? We have a great cafe here in Dartmouth, on the Dartmouth side of Halifax, called Two With by Sea, and they will often crowdsource the name for their next croissant creation. They're famous for their croissants. So, they might have one called the Anita Kirkbride. Probably not. I'm not quite that famous yet. But they might, crowdsource, what are we going to call this next one, and get ideas from their fans. And that creates lots of content and lots of interaction on their social media. What about, could you crowdsource the name of a mascot or the new name of your puppy who's going to live in your store or your office, or a sandwich or a new soup or a new drink One of the clients that I helped not too long ago, they were setting up a new restaurant. They were going to create some signature alcoholic beverages. And I said to them, why don't you live stream your bartenders who are doing the mixing and the tasting? Get some people in to be a panel to taste the drinks, talk about what they like, what they don't like, and the conversation that goes into choosing what your signature drink is. That's not something we get to see very often. And the people who are waiting for your restaurant to open, they're going to find that really interesting how that process comes together. And that video is going to sit on your profile page until you take it down. So it's always going to be there as a back history to explain how that drink came about. So really good content if you can do little things like that. All right, so I think I've given you lots to think about, lots of ideas for creating your own content. And what I just don't want to see you just doing the share, share, share all the time. Just sharing is good, but you've got to intersperse it with your own unique content. So next Friday, don't leave yet, but next Friday, I'm going to talk about tools and tips for creating your own content. There's tons of different tools out there to create whatever kind of content it is you want to create, whether it's videos or graphics or pictures or blogs. So we're going to talk about some of those different tips and tools that can help make content marketing really easy for you. So make sure you come back, and I'm going to pop a link on my page right after this is over so that you can subscribe, and I'm going to get it figured out for next week how to go live from that link. So you made it to the end. I'm done giving you all of my secret messages, my secret weapons. The 2 secret weapons, just to reiterate: 1, be helpful. The best content marketing you can do is to be helpful. It's good for your relationship building. It brings your tribe to you. It helps people understand who you are and why they'd want to do business with you over your competition. And hey, it's not bad for search engine optimization. If you're doing all of that on your blog, it's going to help you get that #1 Google placement in searches. So that's always a good thing. And 2, answer customer questions. That's the easiest, quickest way to find content for your social media, is to answer those questions. Put it out there so people can always find the answers and they can do their research ahead of time before calling you up to hire you. All right. So I know those of you who have stuck around, you're waiting to find out where to go to get this freebie. My freebie's I'm calling it the Brain Tickler. It's going to tickle your brain. It's going to help you come up with hundreds of ideas for your content, for your business. So I want you to go and download that after this. All you have to do is give me your email address. I promise I won't spam you, and I'm never going to sell or rent my email lists. Give me your email address and I will give you instant access to the Brain Tickler with over 50 different prompts to get you thinking about what your content can be on social media and on blogs. And it's split into 2 different categories, but a lot of it can go back and forth and get intermingled. So now I'm going to give you the link, Marcel, and you can go to the link and put your email in there and you'll get access to the freebie there. So the link is twerp.ca/brain tickler, and I'm just going to grab it right here. No, I'm not. So I don't have a helper. I'm going to have to get a helper next time. twerp.ca/brain tickler. Okay, you can grab that link, pop that into your browser. It's going to ask you for your email there, and then you'll get access to the list of over 50 different types. Page not found. Well, that's not good. Let me see. It wouldn't be a live thing. Oh, brain hyphen tickler. That's my problem. I forgot the hyphen. corp.ca/brain-tickler. Let's try that one. There we go. I think that one should work for you. Over 50 different ideas, prompts for your own social media content ideas. So I would love for you to let me know if that works for you. Let me know if it gives you some ideas. Send me an email and tell me, hey, I created this blog because of this video, because of that list. I would love to know that it actually helped you come up with your own content. I really would. I really want you to tell me that. Okay, so I'm going to shut this one down. If you have questions, if you still want to talk, I don't want to keep the video going forever, but I would love for you to come join me over in my group. It's not a super big group yet, and we're not super active, but it's a great place to come and ask questions. If you have questions about social media for business, come on over to the group where I could answer you. There's a couple of other social media experts in there who might help you. And there's some other business owners who might give you some opinions. So next week, the topic's going to be tips and tools for creating your content. And have fun creating. I'll look forward to seeing next week some of the ideas that you came up with this week and helping you put those into practice. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you guys next week.